On June 3rd, hundreds of New Brunswick farmers drove their tractors straight to the legislature in Fredericton. They weren't just protesting, they were sounding an emergency alarm. By March 31, 2027, the provincial government plans to completely phase out publicly funded veterinary field services for livestock and wind down the Provincial Animal Disease Laboratory. In a region already struggling with a critical shortage of large animal veterinarians, local producers are being left completely stranded. But look closer, because this isn't just a provincial oversight, it is a coordinated rollback. At the federal level, the administration is shuttering 7 critical Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada research stations, including the historic Nappan facility in the Maritimes, while slicing 12% of the department's workforce. Over 400 of those eliminated positions are field and lab technicians. They are systematically wiping out generations of localized agricultural research on soil health, crop mutation, and disease tracking. As if losing veterinary care and innovation wasn't enough, New Brunswick farmers are facing a massive overhead spike on August 1, 2026, when sweeping fee hikes hit heavy machinery registrations and land permits. Meanwhile, the long-promised Grocery Code of Conduct sits in constant bureaucratic gridlock, leaving independent farmers entirely at the mercy of corporate retail monopolies. This is the reality of the crisis. While the state distracts the public with high-visibility, rebranded cash transfer PR stunts, they are quietly starving the foundational back-end infrastructure that keeps our food independent. When you dismantle regional research, kill public animal disease labs, and tax the farmers out of business, you aren't protecting citizens. You are guaranteeing complete corporate dependence. Look past the headlines of cutting research farms and veterinary services, because there is an even quieter crisis hitting the Canadian food supply, and it is happening in the fields. The federal government recently closed applications for the 2026 Youth Employment and Skills Program, a crucial initiative that traditionally provided wage subsidies to help local farmers hire young Canadian students. But this year, the administration quietly slipped in massive changes, putting strict caps on application limits and heavily restricting eligibility. By gutting the funding that makes it affordable to recruit and train local youth, the state has manufactured a domestic labor mirage. When independent farmers can no longer afford local summer help, they are forced into a corner where they have absolutely no choice but to rely entirely on the seasonal agricultural worker and temporary foreign worker programs just to keep their crops from rotting. But here is the trap. At the exact same time the government is starving local youth hiring programs, they are drastically slashing overall temporary foreign worker admissions nationwide, aiming for a 31% reduction compared to last year. Local agriculture is being squeezed from both sides. First, they make it too expensive to hire local Canadians, and then they penalize and restrict the farms for trying to bring in international help to fill the gap. This isn't an accidental labor shortage. This is a policy-driven bottleneck designed to make independent, family-run farming unsustainable. When you starve a sector of both its next generation of local workers and its emergency seasonal labor, you ensure that only massive corporate agro-conglomerates survive. For the Canadian Citizens Journal, keep your eyes on the data and watch the watchmen.